Are your people working hard but not reaching their full potential? The problem is not effort, it is development. At the Modern Observer Group, we transform workforce development into real performance. Our human-centered achievement programs help your team think better, communicate stronger, and execute at a higher level. That means higher employee engagement, stronger leadership, and measurable results across your organization. If you want a workforce that performs, leads, and delivers, it is time to invest in your people. Visit modernobserver.com and discover how the Modern Observer Group helps you build a workforce that wins.
The Iran war escalates. The first AI-designed vaccine is tested, a stellar jobs report, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Iran launched ballistic missiles at Israel yesterday in retaliation for Israeli airstrikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, jeopardizing peace deal negotiations and the ceasefire between Tehran and Washington. No major damage or casualties were reported. Israel struck military targets in western and central Iran early Monday in retaliation. Blasts were heard in Tehran, Tabriz, and Isfahan. The chain of escalation began Sunday when Israel struck a Hezbollah command center in Beirut's southern suburbs after Hezbollah fired missiles at northern Israel. Israel notified the Trump administration beforehand, and a U.S. official said Washington supports Israel's right to self-defense. Iran's parliament speaker called U.S. and Israeli bases in the region legitimate targets. A U.S. defense official told reporters that American forces are prepared for defense in case Iran follows through. U.S. forces struck Iranian coastal radar sites on Saturday after shooting down drones launched by Iran towards regional traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command said the U.S. struck Iran surveillance sites on the Strait of Hormuz. Iran also fired 7 ballistic missiles at Kuwait and Bahrain. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps said it targeted U.S. bases there in retaliation for U.S. strikes and fired on 4 tankers attempting to cross the strait without its permission. CENTCOM said initial assessments indicate 6 of the missiles launched by Iran were intercepted and a 7th did not reach its intended target. There are currently no reports of harm to U.S. personnel, and Iranian claims of damaging U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain are false. A congressional oversight report alleges that senior Minnesota officials, including Governor Tim Walz, failed for years to act on warning about fraud in the state's social services programs, allowing hundreds of millions of dollars in confirmed or alleged losses and placing billions more at risk. The Walz administration had the power to stop fraudulent payments to high-risk entities receiving federal nutrition and Medicaid funds, but the state repeatedly failed to act after officials raised concerns, according to a 205-page final staff report released by the House Oversight Committee on Monday. Congressional investigators found that concerns about potential racial discrimination claims rather than legal constraints contributed to the Walz administration's decision to continue paying providers suspected of fraud. The committee also spoke to nearly 30 whistleblowers, some of whom accused the Walz administration of retaliation against state employees for sounding the alarm about potential fraud. Fraud warnings were elevated to the most senior levels of the Minnesota state government. Meaningful corrective action was delayed or avoided, and payments continued long after credible signs of fraud emerged, according to the report. The Trump administration must restart asylum and immigration processing for people from 39 countries, a federal judge ruled on Friday. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services put a hold on all asylum claims and froze decisions on immigration applications from the 39 countries, largely in Africa and the Middle East. A report commissioned by the leaders of Vanderbilt University and Washington University in St. Louis concluded that there has been a deterioration in scholarly standards in the social sciences and humanities. Every field reviewed by the report's authors showed some signs of ideological distortion where political criteria substituted for scholarly criteria, the report said. Artificial intelligence has developed a fundamentally new type of vaccine that was then tested on humans for the first time, according to researchers at the University of Cambridge. The new vaccine used AI to design a superantigen that can train the human immune system against an entire family of viruses, not just one strain. The phase 1 trial of 39 volunteers found the needle-free vaccine safe with no significant side effects. A larger phase 2 trial of roughly 200 participants is planned to measure how well the vaccine actually protects against illness. Researchers say the same approach could eventually target influenza and Ebola virus families. McDonald's customers may soon be giving their order to a robot. The fast food company is testing a new artificial intelligence order taking system at the drive-thru called Arch IQ at 5 locations across the country right now, according to Restaurant Business Magazine. The initiative is part of the company's new brand strategy called McDonald's Next, which was announced last week. The Bureau of Labor Statistics on Friday reported that employers added 172,000 jobs in May. That figure is more than double the estimates of economists polled by LSEG, who predicted a gain of 85,000 jobs. The unemployment rate held steady at 4.3% for a third straight month. Private payrolls added 120,000 jobs in May. April's gain of 123,000 jobs was revised up to 177,000 jobs, while March's gain of 190,000 jobs was revised up to 202,000, making it the strongest 3-month stretch in more than 2 years. Average hourly wages rose 3.4% over the past year. Economists said the stronger than expected numbers make it unlikely that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates anytime soon. That's the Raw Naked Truth for June 8th, 2026. Remember to like and subscribe to the Raw Naked Truth wherever you listen to podcasts. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.